Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
My good friend
Oh, wait,
Nikki
you
is
there?
offline tonight. My BK queen. Off
Yeah,
camera, not offline, off
off
camera.
camera. I am here. I'm represented with the Soul Glow. That's the shirt I was going to wear along with my activated curls, but shit happens.
Shit happens. Welcome to our final Black History Month 30 Tuesday.
Oh, man. Can you believe we've done 3 weeks
Cheers.
of this already?
I've loved it. I think it's been great. We have
Yeah.
guests with us as always. We have
We are rich.
We're rich today in guests. We have Drew
We're
Marsh, Jay
blessed.
Cass, and Mitra, which we'll introduce in just a minute. Tonight we're
Mhm.
talking about coming to
To
America.
America.
All right, let's bring
We
in
didn't
Drew
even practice
first.
that.
Hi, Drew.
Drew. Hello, my king.
Hello,
Before
my
you guys say
king.
anything, I am an African exchange student tonight.
Love it. We love commitment to a theme.
Absolutely. Hey, AK. Um, this is Drew. Drew, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell a little bit who you are.
Well, besides me being an African exchange student, um, a classmate of Tanya's from way back when, although Tanya is considerably older than I am.
Oh, damn.
What?
Throw him out. Kick him out. We've had enough.
Remove. Remove from studio.
No, I'm just really happy to be here. That's who I am. Like I love coming to America to a fault, and I guess we'll talk more about that unless you guys want me to spill it now.
We'll add everybody and then we'll start with you because this
Okay.
I had to have you specifically when it came to
Go
talking
hard.
about coming to America. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I need Drew for this because Drew's fandom runs deep. All right, let's introduce
Similarly, I think that's
Jay.
a good note for Jay because that's the reason he's here.
All right, let's add Jay.
I'm
Hey
here,
Jay, you're
and I'm coming
here.
with friends.
Yes.
I should just like
Another.
leave them. Like, I wish it was like a perch I could put like the homies on. Obviously, like the pedals are out. We got the prince here looking for his bride. It's like I should have my consciences right here, right?
Akeem and Semi. You're
Oh
good as
man,
evil.
like Drew, I'm a fellow coming to America enthusiast, lover of all scenes, skit comedy, the romance, the lack thereof, all the above. It was like a cheap budget movie that just hit and it worked. At the height of Eddie, Arsidio, and instead of giving us a rom-com, they gave us a comedy that was romantic, and it worked, man. These guys it worked.
All right, let's bring in Mitra. Mitra might be our final guest unless Lewis shows up. Hey, Mitra.
Hello. I similarly have the Funkos, although I didn't dig him out, but I also have the one where he's in the McDowell's uniform and such, and I have my McDowell's hat.
Hey.
Oh my God, I love it.
Show us your tea.
Oh, my shirt, yes, the Kingdom of Zamunda.
Yes.
Zamunda.
Yes,
Can't
the
really
Zamunda
see.
flag.
I also have the Soul Glow shirt, but I couldn't dig it out. So.
I'm wearing
Yeah,
my Randy Watson
Yes.
World Tour '88 sexual chocolate.
Oh, but
There's
yeah,
black awareness.
yes. Big fan of the movie. As I was telling Nikki this, there's this dope website called listentoamovie.com where they just have the audio of movies, and I will just, like, if I'm working and can't have it up, I will just listen to Coming to America because I have watched it so many times that I know what's happening.
You're just watching it in your mind.
Yes, in my mind, I'm watching it, and my supervisor's like, "Yo, I know what you're doing. Please just keep the laughter down."
It's always funny.
Yes!
It's never,
Yeah,
It's never
funny.
not funny.
It
No.
does.
I was
never
watching
not
it.
funny. It literally is like scene after scene after scene, and
Yes.
like the one that is like just my favorite that sticks out to me is like, when the robbery goes on in the McDowell's, the reward is you get to be valet.
You get to be valet.
and they think they made it. Like, it's just so good, man.
Oh.
That's funny. Well, we're all here. Let's start with Drew. Tell us about your fandom, Drew. How'd
So
you get sucked in like this?
first of all, my mom's sister, who's like, she's not gonna watch this, so I can tell you guys, she doesn't make very good decisions in life. just terrible. So she was supposed to be babysitting like myself, her kids, which are similar age, but we're all really small. She took us to the theater to see Coming to America.
Wow.
In all of its rated R.
The royal penis is clean.
Yes.
Impressive.
Listen,
Impressive.
like when I was a kid, like, you know, there was no, like, my parents, they never did, and they still don't use any curse words ever.
Whew,
And
opposite of
so-
mine.
Opposite of a lot of people, right? But like, so being able to be there in that theater and see that, and it was hilarious. And the language for me as a kid was just like, I'm like, this is great. This is like the best thing I've ever seen before.
I mean, literally screaming, "Fuck you!" I hope they didn't hear me.
I think everyone's like has on this has at least done that at least once or twice.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
good morning, man.
So it's just been like, for me, Coming to America has been my birthday ritual. And my birthday was a week ago. Is today Wednesday yet? No, today's Tuesday.
No, it's
A week
Tuesday.
ago tomorrow was my birthday.
Oh,
Yeah,
early belated. Sorry.
thank you
Happy
very much.
51st birthday.
Oh man, Tanya, that makes you about 56.
58.
So we went to the Bahamas, and my wife knows now. We've been married for 10 years, and she knows now. She fought it at first when she's like, "What do you want to do on your birthday?" I want to eat cake, cheap cake from the store. I don't like fancy cake. I want cheap cake.
I
And
respect that.
I want to watch Coming to America at least once, maybe twice.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And
I
it's-
always ask for a Carvel ice cream cake for my birthday, so I understand the cheap cake part.
I want it to
have-
come from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
I
know,
feel you.
so my daughter is 14 now, but
What?
I know it's crazy.
Has the pandemic been that long? Because I remember playing Animal Crossing with her.
Hmm. She was maybe like 12 or something. She's 14, about to be 15 now. So last summer when she was 13, I bought a 25-foot inflatable movie screen
Nice.
and a projector, and we watched it in the backyard.
Love it.
Because I've been telling her that, like, you know, when you get old enough, there's like so many movies that I want you to see, and I have a list of them. Most of them have Eddie Murphy. We watched Coming to America, and both parts, 1 and 2. She actually liked the second one better. That was interesting, but I'm sure
There
we'll
might be more cultural references that she could get with the
Right.
second one than the
Mm.
first one.
she
Maybe.
really liked the feminine messaging in
Mm.
in the second one. That's her all the way. But she was really disappointed in me because there's so many things that I say and that I have been saying her entire life that she thought was like
Your own cleverness.
right. And
She thought they were original.
she literally just looked at me, and she was with such disappointment. She was like, all this time, I thought you were funny all this time, and you were just regurgitating lines from the movie.
Wow.
I love it.
Sorry to disappoint you, kid.
How about you, Jay?
I mean, I don't remember the exact first time of me watching it. I just know that I've watched it like a lot of times. Similar to like Drew, it's like an annual tradition. I don't know if you could put it in the Christmas category, but I tend to always watch it in winter because I know it's like snow, it's a winter movie. But anytime it comes on like TV. If I see it, I'm like, I'm stopping. Like I'm watching the movie. You know, I'm not flipping the channel. It's just what I do. I could continue to watch it, not get tired of it. I'm still not tired of it. The movie came out, 30 years ago. Similar to your daughter, I enjoyed the second part for what it was. I knew it was not going to be the original, nor was it supposed to be.
Correct.
But for what they did, I appreciated it because nothing was going to touch the original. Just like it's impossible to replicate that. But the way they paid homage and getting the twins back together to rap, and so it's just
That was cool.
It was really cool the way they kind of try to tie it as much as possible. But yeah, no, man, it's such a great movie. Just a whole lot of just comedy just comes to it. I mean, I just can't help but just laugh all the time. I mean, people just think I'm crazy, like I'm just like I know it's coming, but I still laugh, and it's just it's great. Like, who's this guy? Oh, just a man I met in the restroom. You're pointing out now that I'm older, it's like, oh, I get it. He met in the restroom.
Mitra, how about
really
you?
hard at that the other day when it came on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
I don't remember the first time I saw it, but it's like a family tradition, kind of similar, like holidays, usually on USA Network. They would play it and they'd play Friday. And my family, like we'd eat and then we'd watch Coming to America. And so it's just been a part of my life forever. And I had it on VHS, I have it on DVD, I have it on Blu-ray. Like it's been a part of my life for so long that I don't remember a time in my life when I didn't watch Coming to America or wasn't aware of Coming to America. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember my first time watching it either. I've been watching it though since I was a kid, like way too young for it, and a lot of stuff definitely went over my head. It's like when we talked about I'm Gonna Get You Sucker 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I was watching that since it came out, not realizing how much I wasn't getting because I was so young. And then as I got older, I'm like, I cannot believe I sat and watched this with my parents. Like, they allowed that. Terrible decision. Nikki, how about you?
Coming to America, like every other movie we've done, was on the list of movies I wasn't allowed to watch because it was rated R. So I think it was also one of those movies that was censored by my parents. There were like parts that they'd call us into for like house party. We could watch the dancing, but that was it, So I don't remember the first time I watched the whole thing. I was probably older, maybe in my late teens or maybe even college, even Jay. But I just remember it was so funny. And just like, like at that time I knew that one day eventually I'd want to live in New York, and then I watched it after I moved to Queens and I was like, shout out to Queens, shout out to St. John's, my alma mater.
So Nikki, you were in college before you saw it for the first time?
My parents were super strict about movies and boyfriends. That was their thing.
Wow. But when you saw it
from beginning to end, I think I was probably between 17 and 19. When I saw it for the first time.
Had you heard all the one-liners though? Like
I'd heard the one-liners. I had friends who'd seen it and stuff, but we weren't just allowed. They were strict. We weren't allowed to watch it. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so for me, I got to watch it with like a more adult sense of humor. So it was always funny to me, but like as I get older, it's even funnier.
Yes.
I mean, I think the only reason I probably saw it as young as I did is because the edited version is what showed on USA. So, there are things obviously I missed, but like when I finally got it for myself, I was like, oh, okay. There's things I missed here. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was my dad who I watched it with, because my mom doesn't really watch stuff like that. And my dad really did not care about ratings when we were kids. Like, the second movie I ever saw in theaters was Die Hard. And like, I was not that old.
I'm always gonna laugh when you say that.
Yeah. He was like, he wanted to see Die Hard, and he took me and my sister, who I think was like 3 at the time. And I was still young enough to not know like that the violence wasn't real. And I cried so much that we had to leave the theater. So like, that's like one of my core memories. Huh?
You turned out great.
So yeah, Coming to America, man. Okay, so Jay, you talked about one of your favorite scenes. What are you guys' favorite parts, if you have favorite parts?
My favorite part, because because it's just like a favorite part amongst my family, is when the king and the whole entourage have come to Queens, and Akeem takes Lisa back to the house, and there's that whole moment where Daryl's like knocking on the door, and and Cleo is like shutting the door on him, and he keeps shutting the door on him, and finally he's like, "I warned you, didn't I? Dottie, get him!" And the dog comes in. I lose it every single time, especially when he falls, like when Cleo falls down the
I
stairs.
was just about to say when he falls up, trips up the steps. I was watching it. We had a 6-hour drive yesterday, and I was watching in the car, and that part I was laughing out loud with my headphones on. Like nobody knows why I'm laughing. I'm just sitting there cackling at him falling up the steps. What about you, Drew? What's your like standout?
Wait, can I ask
part?
Drew, what was that you held up?
Yeah, was that the script?
Is that the screenplay?
This is an autographed script.
Nice.
Yes.
Demetrius gonna steal it from
Hold on,
you.
let me make you bigger.
Oh
The-
my gosh.
The entire movie. I
Hold on,
found
I'm
this
gonna-
online. I found this online with the certificate of authenticity, and I paid probably way too much money for it. But
Hold it up again.
It's funny to even touch it because I really don't touch it very often. I keep it in the plastic.
No, smart.
But
Wow,
this,
Can you hold it up again?
yeah,
I have you
this
on the
is
solo
special
screen
occasion-
so you can see it. Nice.
Wow.
special occasion
Wow.
tonight.
Wait, who signed it?
The director.
Oh, John Landis signed. Oh,
Yeah. So it
That's
was really
cool.
cool. I went through a phase. I bought this, Do the Right Thing,
yes.
some stuff like that. So, but all right, my favorite scene, and I hope it's not too cliche, but like the barbershop, like in its entirety, like thank God for YouTube, because like YouTube will put them together
Yeah.
and you could just watch it like that, like they like go in succession. And that was probably the funniest thing for me, because as a kid, I grew up around a lot of characters, and my dad got his haircut, and then me by proxy got my haircut there as well, at a barbershop where there was a lot of shit talking. and the main barber, Frank Ray, it was his barbershop, and he had to have the last word, and so he would commonly like get fed up and cuss everybody out. So when I saw it, I'm like,
Like Clarence.
this is it. I thought that part was absolutely phenomenal. Watching the ending credits to see that the Jewish guy was Eddie Murphy initially. I watching it, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that Clarence was, I knew the other barber was Arsenio. Like that was kind of obvious, but I mean the makeup was right on point. I have like of course I have the VHS, and then I also have a DVD that was like had like some deleted scenes and some director commentary and stuff. So it was fun, although I don't have a DVD player anymore, but I still have the DVD. Watching the director's commentary and hearing about like all the different things, and then they were interviewing the guy that did the makeup.
Rick Baker, the god.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic piece of cinema, in my opinion. I know it's not super deep. The romantic part,
yeah,
it didn't need to be. The romantic part was a little questionable at times. But I love it. I think it's fantastic. The barbershop, and yes, that's what it is.
Oh, Laverne's here.
And then the pool scene at the beginning when she comes up. That's my wife. She's really on board now, though. She'll actually even laugh a little bit. Like she doesn't like to give me the satisfaction of laughing at my jokes or anything that I think is funny, but she can't even like, the movie is just hilarious. Like, how can you not?
You have to laugh.
Yeah.
You have to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something funny in like each scene. I mean, as we talked about this with I'm gonna get you sucker, how everything, all the jokes that are kind of hidden within the scene, they're all so intentional and just like from from one to the next. They're just packed full of laughs that you can go back and be like, oh, I didn't even notice that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I've-
literally like scene after scene. Like for like right when they get to New York, it's just like I suspect these people have like stolen our stuff. And they go like to rent the house, and it's like the man with the chalk, and then
Yes.
like, the dog,
Yeah.
like,
Damn shame what they did to that dog.
Hey, did y'all know that the guy that was laying on the steps, that was Eddie Murphy's uncle?
No, I didn't
No.
know that.
I know that.
Uncle, he was when Eddie Murphy was at his height, he would if you look on YouTube when he was on Arsenio's show, they would always bring him out because he was really funny, and him and Charlie always made fun of him. They called him I can't remember, I forgot his name, Uncle something, but that was him laying on the steps, and then he farted when they were walking by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot
I
of
never
bad
noticed
people
the
farting
fart.
this month.
You didn't
I
notice
never
the fart?
noticed the fart until I was watching it with
Yeah.
headphones on.
And that was early in the movie. So at that point, as a little kid in the theater, I'm like,
Mhm.
somebody farted in the
Sold.
movie.
Sold.
I'm in love.
I've been saying that to this day, one of my life regrets is not having James Casey sing She's Your Queen to Be at my wedding.
That would have been so good.
I was like, why?
We're
He
gonna
would have
do
done it.
for the vow renewal. 10
He would have
years.
done it 100%.
He absolutely would have done it. His mother officiated, and so he was already like he flew in from tour to be there. Like he would have done it, and I just was the fool who didn't ask. I messed up. So yeah, I gotta renew my vow so he can do it.
My god sister, when she got engaged, it was like in public, and like her fiance, well, her husband now, he picked like a romantic thing, and they have it on video. Some random like person passing by started singing it.
Oh, I would have loved that.
Wow.
So all on the video is hilarious.
Ugh.
Comment.
Yeah, I mean, like some of this like screenwriting was really cool too. Like speaking of like Randy Watson when he gets on stage, it's like from the one
my
down
No,
the
that's
Boy, good.
No, the applause. I think the Randy Watson
It's
scene.
like a fake show. It's so funny, man.
I think the Randy Watson scene for a long time was my favorite because of that
Mhm.
applause, where it's like
Mhm.
it's like
Jump.
everybody claps,
Like-
but like once.
Yeah. That boy good.
Good and terrible.
Good. It's such a good movie.
Jackson Heights own.
Jackson Heights own Randy Watson.
Yeah.
I love it.
So interesting fun fact, and you guys probably know this, but the second movie, and it was crazy that this would happen so many years later, but they had every single person from the original movie was alive except Madge Sinclair,
Mhm.
the white guy, I forget his name, that was the
Louis
comedian,
Anderson.
Louis Anderson, yeah.
Louis Anderson, and then Patrice, she's alive. They just didn't put her in the movie in the second movie, Lisa's
Wow.
sister.
Yeah. Oh.
But everybody else
Nice
was in
to
the
see
movie.
her and someone does.
Because I
Yeah.
love her. I love
Yeah.
Patrice.
Oh,
She's
me
so
too.
good
I-
in it.
Great. I thought she was great. But what are the chances that would happen so many years later
I know,
Yeah.
especially because
Yeah.
not everybody was young.
Yeah.
in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say what I loved with the second one is how the king had his funeral while he was still alive, because I want to do that. I want to have a funeral like for my birthday. I just
Yeah.
want to sit there and let everybody say nice things about me. Like the opposite of a roast,
Yeah.
Tanya,
a
you
toast.
would. You
There
would.
you go. There's
Yeah, I'd wear a
We're
gown
planning
for it.
We've got plans. Man.
All right.
I don't know. The part that makes me laugh every time is when they're in the barbershop And the king comes in and it's like, this, he touches the light, like, this is beautiful. What is that? Velvet? It's obviously a lion. It's not velvet. And you know, something that I don't know that I ever noticed before, but I did think of, because that song blew up all over TikTok when she's like at the Black awareness thing, where she's like, you know, we like the money that jingles, but we want the one that folds. And I was like, oh, they stole it. They stole it from Coming to America, because that song was all over TikTok for a few months.
Oh, TikTok. What's interesting?
TikTok.
What's interesting was you're talking about the stage play aspect, looking through this script, knowing the movie word for word, but then seeing it in writing to then realize how far from what was in the script, how they were just going for it.
I love that.
I mean,
they're so
like
funny.
that. It's like you just want that to happen, and but
Yeah.
you never know that's going to happen in that way. It's so successfully,
And they're
And-
so
and-
funny. Like, just let them just go off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the strength and the knowledge of Jonathan Landis, knowing that when you've got an Eddie Murphy and an Arsenio Hall, you've got these people who are natural comedians. Like, you don't hold them to it. Just let them do what they do.
Let them do it, and they did it.
Yes.
They really did. I in preparation for this, I was excited, and I was on YouTube the other day, and I was looking. I found a video of some random guy who went through Queens and found all the original filming locations.
Love it.
Nice.
That's
And-
dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just, you know, of course, in typical New York fashion, just to show how different everything is. And he was even, interestingly, he was standing in like a similar spot that the camera shots were at, so that you could see, and then he will put them next to each other. I'll send.
I think the original McDowell's though got demolished.
Yes, it's like an apartment building. Go
Yeah.
figure.
That's sad.
Always.
Yeah.
I bet it's an ugly building too. Just
Probably.
Yeah,
square.
one of those silver square joints.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yuck.
Mm.
Big yuck. What do you think about as now that we're all old people, looking
Speak
back?
for yourself.
Yes, I am a grandmother of 7. What do you think about Lisa and Akeem's whirlwind romance? Less than 40 days, engaged and married.
I mean, as somebody who literally had a conversation last night with my friends about how I messed up and not finding somebody rich to fund my artistic pursuits, I can't really fault her right now for marrying a rich prince. So I'd be very hypocritical right now for saying that.
I felt bad for Imani.
Romance.
I felt bad for Imani, still somewhere hopping on her foot, grunting like an orangutan.
Yes, because she's still grunting in the second one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Just
they-
ruined her life.
Shout out to all the beautiful women in the opening scenes of that movie, because it was just like, I watched it a couple of days ago and I was just like, oh, she's gorgeous and she's gorgeous and she's gorgeous, and I was just like, whoa, everybody was bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and the boobs on the bathers, my goodness, A1.
Yeah, high
Oh
and
my
tight.
gosh.
I was like, man.
I appreciated that they brought Garcelle Bouvet back.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You
But
know, I
not
don't know what
Feather.
actor name. Who's that?
Oh,
So-
one of the pedal girls.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
How funny is it that since the movie, a couple things have happened culturally though. One, there's so many African Americans that really think that Zamunda is a real place.
Mhm.
That's a big
And-
yikes.
It is, but I blame the
I was
public.
looking for an emoji to send here and realized there were none.
But I'm gonna tell you, this same shirt here I'm wearing, I wore it once. It wasn't a black person. It was a non-black person. I'll just say that.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, "Oh, where is that?" And I was like, "Oh, I was like, made up. I was like, it's in East Africa.
Right next to Wakanda.
My family's been before. And they ate it up.
Ate it all up.
Ate it up.
But
Zamunda.
then
That's
also I've seen like even I've seen it on TV happen on reality shows a few times, like guys from the continent of Africa have an accent, you come to the States, you tell some chick that you're a prince,
Mhm.
even if it's true, you know, you're not from a kingdom of like immense wealth.
Mhm.
Right.
And but because everybody, even in maybe even inadvertently in the back of their mind, they recall that like, oh, it worked out for Lisa. So you
Well,
can pick
it's
up
like, hey, Peter Griffin,
Oh.
nice to see you.
What's kind of funny too is in the movie, like people's ignorance of Africa,
Yes.
where like it's so easy to believe he's a goat herder because
Yes.
why would
Yeah.
he be, you know, educated or anything like that? Why would he be rich?
And
And the
that
way
whole-
Daryl acts
Yes, Daryl.
Oh my God, that
What?
piece.
at the
Oh.
game when he's like, "Oh, wearing clothes must be new
Must
to
be
you."
a
And
new
it's
Chase the
experience.
monkey.
be a new experience. So you guys must play Chase the Monkey. Like,
And that,
I mean, but I have to say that that is not limited to Africa. When I moved here from Germany, people legit asked me if I lived in a house over there. This is
as
no
opposed
joke.
to what?
That's what I always wanted to know. They never had an answer.
Did you live in a house?
Mm-hmm. That was a real question. More than once. More than once. So I
Huh.
can't imagine if I was like, you know, I came from Ethiopia, what they would have said to me.
Right.
yeah.
So
That
I'm
is-
surprised my wife's not in the comments on this because I did the opposite. I went to Africa and
There she is.
there she is. right on cue. But so and people will say the same kind of stuff to her, Nikki, like, oh yeah, you know, you must be so happy to be living here in the United States versus like what you came from. Well, she's from South Africa, and for if y'all know, South Africa is real civilized, like, you know.
They have cities there.
Right. And when I met my wife, she was doing very well for herself, and only moved to the United States because of me. So otherwise
Aw.
Oh.
she could have
Girl,
lived
what
there.
were you thinking for him? Just kidding.
Right. And then we
JK,
get here,
JK, hi Laverne.
we get here and so many things happen, like, and she just looking at me like, yo, what's up with your country? And I'm like, yo, first of all, I don't have anything to do with this.
Many children were left behind.
Mm.
Gosh.
I'll just say this: the prince came to the U.S. and he got corrupted, man. To your point, right? Lisa married.
Yeah.
What was his purpose in going there?
Mhm.
Find a wife to accept him for who
Right.
he was.
Right.
That didn't happen.
Did not.
No.
He renounced his rights
Bro.
to the throne on the train.
Yep.
And before the wedding, he said, "Well, I give it all away." What did she say? He had a 40-day vacation
40
To
day
sow his
vacation.
royal oats.
that he didn't. That's another story.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I don't know when I figured it out.
Yeah.
I think I knew it was because of lots of reading.
Hmm.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Simi spells it out when he was like, "This is going to be awesome. 40 days of fornication."
fornication. Yes.
This girl look in the dictionary real quick as a child, be like, what is that?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Right,
What
and
that meant.
Fornication.
I think there's a lot of parents who had to answer that question of what does that mean?
And they're, as a child, they're probably like, oh, so that's what the F word is.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. So total sidebar. That reminds me of when I heard big D's in your mouth is bad for your health. And I asked my dad what a big D was. My poor father. I was like, Daddy, what's big D's in your mouth? And he just glared at my brother and was like, drugs. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I
okay.
get it. It's bad
Nice
for your
name,
health.
Pop.
Bad for your health. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's really funny.
Yeah. My
So-
nephew also asked me what an orgasm was when he was like 6 because he saw chocolate orgasm brownies. Like,
What
y'all
did you
gotta name
say?
these things better. I was like, it's when you feel really, really good. And then I just hoped he didn't use it in a sentence later. So that's for his
It wouldn't
It's like
go
that's
over
for-
well at school.
yeah, I'm like, oh, that's for his parents to sort out. I'm just an auntie. What were you about to say, Drew?
The edited versions on USA, Mitra, was
Mhm.
they're actually gold too.
Yeah.
Oh
If you
yeah.
know the movie and you hear the edits and
Yeah.
stuff, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's like a whole nother like layer of comedy to it. I'll watch it as many times as I come across it on TV.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mhm.
Yeah. And also
that's what I-
because the there are so many like edited versions of movies that where the dubbing of curse words and stuff is so terrible, but
Mhm.
it actually makes sense. Like the replacement words and the way they cut it, it actually makes sense. So the things that are missing aren't such huge chunks that where you don't understand what's happening or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, hats
Mhm.
off to whoever like cut that edited version of it that I grew up really watching until I was got it on my own, because
Mhm.
it just flows so perfectly.
It's not
Mother
like with Die Hard. Yeah. What do you say? Yippee ki yay, Mr. Falcon. What? I was like, wait a minute, what? Who's Mr. Falcon? After that, I only saw that once. Other than that, I would hear Mother Lover, but I'm pretty sure one time he said Mr. Falcon. And
Yeah.
there must have
Wow.
been an outcry because that makes no sense.
None.
I feel like Samuel L. Jackson on the edited version, they say Mother Scratcher, you know,
Mother Scratcher.
Mother Scratcher.
Yeah, that's a tough one to watch edited.
Mm.
I love Samuel L. Jackson's small role in it too.
Yeah.
To
Me
think they
too.
got robbed 5 times by the same guy. It's like this is his 6th time robbing y'all. And he's like, I'm good now, thanks to my African connection. What is he saying? What was it about insects? Oh, the apartments. The guy showing them their apartment, and he's like, "There's a bit of an insect problem, but you boys are from Africa. You're used to that."
Do that.
It's like, what?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
also
God.
really love. We talked about soundtracks for all these movies. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and Love Jones and Coming to America. This movie also has great music.
Now
Yeah.
Rogers.
Now, the
Yes.
great Nile Rodgers.
Mhm. So many great songs.
And y'all know who choreographed the dance at the palace, right?
Paul Abdul.
No, who?
Yep, Paula Abdul.
Yeah,
No
She was
shit, I didn't
she
know
was
that.
19 years old.
Wow.
19 years old, and
Wow.
John Landis like reached out to her, and he was like, "How old are you? Like 17?" And she was like, "No, 19."
Was she doing the Laker girl stuff at the time?
Yep,
Probably, yeah.
yep.
Okay.
But she was like the hot like thing, and so he was like, "Well, let me check this.
Mhm.
Let me check her out and see who this person is that everybody keeps telling me about." And yeah, and because I like was reading an article about it or whatever, and she was saying how she was like, "Well, let me just get in there with dancers and sort of prove myself to you." And he was like, "Yo,
that's
Sure.
another thing. I
Wow.
wish I
That's
needed
really
a bigger
crazy.
budget.
I was watching it.
I was saying
A
I needed a
bigger hair.
bigger budget so that I could have had that kind of entrance for my wedding too. I got to do all of this over.
Yeah.
Well, did
Well,
you guys
fine?
catch Swiss Beats birthday party that Alicia threw for him?
oh yeah, it had the
Yeah.
same sort of theme, yeah,
Yeah.
But okay, I mean, Alicia Keys got that Alicia Keys bread.
right."
Right.
Mm.
I don't
And
have the money
even-
to hire all them dancers.
And
They recreated all of that.
yeah.
Oh,
And didn't some of the cast of Black Panther, when they did like a Halloween party, I think it was, a lot of the cast like did a Zamunda themed, Coming to America themed costumes and stuff.
that's really
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, the random Cuba Gooding Jr. in the bar
Yeah.
just sitting there.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
No dialogue.
No.
None.
They just sat there like,
Getting his hair
Yeah.
fake cut.
Yes, because he's just cutting over the top of the front.
Yeah.
There is no chemical, only natural juices and berries.
and he's like, can you make me look like this?
Why you want to look like that?
When he says to cut it nice and neat, and he just snips off his tail, that'll be $8.
$8.
So funny thing is, when I saw the movie in the theater and they were making fun of the Jerry curl and stuff, that struck me as odd because I very much wanted one.
Did
I-
you really?
I would have loved to
Oh,
see Jerry
man.
Curl Drew.
Oh man, because Michael Jackson had one.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if it wasn't cool that Michael Jackson had one, Michael
Right.
Jackson.
Yeah, I feel like this movie was responsible for them no longer being cool.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I
They
think
kind of
so
killed
too.
it.
Yeah, but hold on, Tony. I got to go back to the point you made. Samuel L. Jackson, the comment, Cuba Gooding Jr. Who was the other flower girl? I mean,
Garcelle
Garcelle Beauvais.
Also, F. Gary Gray is also in a scene.
Come on,
apparently.
Louis Anderson. Like this is
Yeah.
so ahead of their time. Come on,
Yeah.
Like, this is
Yeah, it was star studded.
Yeah,
Star-studded.
you gotta appreciate.
and
that.
of course we've got
Hey,
the Donna Michi and Ralph Bellamy from Trading Places.
Oh, right.
Oh, right.
Order.
There was that nod to that. Yep.
Yep.
Also,
We're
Drew, your
back.
wife's such a sweet lady looking out for you. We can get you an ultra perm. She's gonna get you an ultra perm, boo.
If you don't go to sleep,
I love when. Go
I
ahead.
used to make my sister, she was 2 years older than me, go and get as much hair grease as she could find. I had like the little afro, and because I didn't know how a Jerry curl worked, I'm just like, yo,
course.
just do it. And I wanted
Make it drip.
I wanted
Yes,
the
you
one
need that
the
one
piece that
curl.
came down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like we got in trouble because she got grease in my eye because she's trying to slick it. She's trying to slick the afro down and kept popping back up, slick it.
Oh my gosh.
And you know when that kind of stuff happens, like everybody's getting in trouble. She getting
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
in trouble.
That's a whole tub of grease you wasted.
But
Yeah.
wait a minute. We were mentioning all the people who are in this, like these little moments. And I mean, like, Eric LaSalle, who plays
Oh, yeah.
Daryl
right.
Yeah.
before he became like Eric
Eric
LaSalle
Conrad,
of
yeah,
ER. You
ER.
know?
Mhm.
So, such a dope thing.
But I don't
Mhm.
even I'm glad you said his name because he's only Daryl to me. The whole time my dad used to watch ER every week, and I'd just be like, oh, this is Daryl.
That's
This
funny.
lady shine.
I've never been able to
Okay,
I've never
no.
forget what his name was.
I think we were too young for that.
No.
No.
If I
no
had
Jerry
been
curl
a-
for me.
Yeah, I don't know that my parents would have let me do that either.
There was
No.
one
They're
summer
very
I wanted
particular
a
about my
Jerry
hair.
curl. There was one summer. It was, I want to say 1995 or 94, where I really wanted a Jerry curl because my cousin had one in Jamaica, and I thought it looked so pretty. She had those wet ass curls, and I thought it was so pretty.
I
And I
if it
wanted
was
a Jerry
94,
curl so bad.
95, she was still a late adopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a teenager, and she was a teenager. It's not even like she was old, but it was still kind of popular there among, at least like in the rural areas, it was still kind of popular. So like I wanted one, and of course my mother was like, absolutely. My mother didn't let me do anything to my hair. She was just like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
AK, did you have a Jerry curl? Please let us know,
Please let us know.
because you're saying you're old. So now I think you had a Jerry curl, and I want to see.
Hey, you don't
I
have
wanna
to
see
show
pictures.
everyone, but you need to slide in mine and Tanya's DMs and show us receipts.
Yes, please, please.
The school picture, the Jerry Curl school picture.
Yes, go ahead and show that to us. Yes, the Jerry curls all over Brooklyn in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a West Coast thing too, because you remember like when Ice
Eazy-E.
Cube,
Yeah, Ice
Mhm,
Cube.
that's
and-
true.
and it was wet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Then you
Wait,
can
who
really
said
walk
follow
around
the
with
drip?
damn
Follow
hair.
the drip. What was that? Who said?
Wait, follow the drip, Oh, wait, where was I?
Oh my god, I had to Google it. Talk about you have Jerry curls, you can't. Oh, was it Robin Harris? That feels like a Robin.
Yes,
Harris
it's
song.
Robin Harrison house party.
Robin Harris.
Because
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
right.
like can't commit a crime with a Jerry
yes,
curl.
when he
Follow the
busts up
drip.
in that party and he's like, you don't ever want to commit a crime because they don't have to look for you. They just follow the drip.
Robin Harris.
Oh,
We should have done house party too.
There's one more Tuesday in February. We can still do it.
house party.
Aren't you
is
gonna
a-
be traveling?
No, not anymore.
Oh, maybe next week we can do house party. You guys want to do house
Do
party
house
with us?
party?
We just
Should we leave it to the
my wife and I
chat?
just watched the new one, the LeBron James produced one.
Oh, how was
Oh,
it?
really? How was that?
I heard bad things.
Well, it was similar to like
You know, high pitch in the voice. The woo. That inflection's got me.
they
trepidatious.
they went really hard into like, you know, a lot of nods to the original. Like, and I don't want to say too much if you guys haven't seen it, but like even like Full Force, remember Full Force where like the
Yeah. Bowleg Lou.
I want to, you know, real
Trying to
quick, I
convince
wanna-
us they were high school students.
Thank you. I was just about to say these big, beefy motherfuckers with their jerry curls. I'm supposed to believe they're in their teens still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but teenagers, when House Parties was coming out, House Party 1 and 2, to me, teenagers were like big people.
Yeah.
I didn't really, it wasn't until years later when I'm like, yo,
Like, hold on, they're my age.
right.
Yeah.
A whole lot of poor facial
You know
hair
what? Hold on.
in full
Tanya,
force.
we should ask the chat because we also wanted to do Don't Be a Menace if we had another
Oh
Tuesday.
yeah.
So should we do Don't Be a Menace or House Party? Drop it in the chat. And let us know. We'll take
Don't
a
be a
vote.
menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. I'd have to get Shalia for that one because she knows that movie word for word. She would just sit and quote it, and it's so
Message.
funny.
It was like, hey, hand me that shit on the
We got one vote for house party.
Okay, so I have to ask this because y'all have mentioned it. Y'all really liked the Coming to America. Y'all really liked it.
I wasn't really into it. Other like I really liked again like the funeral in the beginning, but other than that, I really wasn't that into it. I didn't like how they went about how he got a son either. That was a little too weird for me.
Yeah, that was a
remember that
stretch. I
part.
mean, but just like the introduction of characters, like
I like the cameos really.
right, like the who played the general.
Wesley Snipes.
Oh, Wesley Snipes.
Like,
He was funny.
He was really
in it.
funny. Yeah.
The first
He
one,
was
man.
really
So it's
funny.
like redemption for him, man. So, but something like that, just like a character out of nowhere, but it just worked. I mean, again, it's not the original.
Right.
I think it had pieces that were funny, but overall, I don't think it was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it had moments.
I tend to agree. I did enjoy seeing cameos and seeing people kind of, show
Yeah,
their
I
faces
think
in it. And there were some new jokes, but it's just like when you have any sequels, like where they try to carry on the original joke, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, because you're like, oh shit, that again.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed it for the nostalgia, but not so
Yeah.
much for the movie itself.
Right. I think part two is like they try to make it more of a story. Where the first one, it was like it's a comedy that just happened to be a story. It just worked. Like the second
Yeah, it wasn't
one,
it wasn't a complicated plot line at
wasn't
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one big running joke.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a hit of a movie. It just worked and it was a hit. Where the second one, it was like, all right, how are you gonna make it work and try to make it into like a comedy where it's like it had its moments, but it wasn't like the first one, man. It's like literally every scene, it's a scene after scene, line after line. It's just slap humor, and it works.
When Ellington first started walking, his daycare sent us a video of him taking his first steps, and Brian,
Sorry.
and Brian
I've
goes,
seen this video.
he goes, "My son walks," and no one, they didn't know what he was talking about. Like, nobody really got it. And I thought it was so funny. I was dying. Like I think he posted it on Instagram with that caption too. He's like, "My son walks," and it was just really funny to me and not to anyone else around me because they didn't watch Coming to America as closely. Yeah,
I didn't think I didn't think the second movie was ever going to happen because it did not need to happen. Truth be told, as far as my own personal enjoyment of it, I just felt really lucky to be alive to witness it.
Okay.
Because like there was I felt like there was a few times over the years where there was like you'd hear some random rumor that they were starting to film a second part. That didn't happen.
Right.
That never was happening until it actually happened.
Right.
Right.
And so like my coming to America party, my party leading up to us watching the second one on the day that it dropped was so extensive that like we all fell asleep watching Coming to America. It was just
that says a lot.
like,
I wish I had known about you. I wish I had been in your bubble for that party.
oh man, it was crazy. I mean, by the time we sat down to watch the movie, I'd had 3 outfit changes.
And this is why I love you. This is
I was
why.
gonna say you were invited to everything we do from now on.
I know.
And we had
Listen, I love a costume change.
oh man, we had the red
Mhm.
carpet, we had the lights. It was
Wow.
everything. My wife was a good sport because her thing was she had to throw flower petals
Yes, I remember
Oh.
seeing that.
the whole night, and she was a great sport and she got in character and did it. So, but we were exhausted by the time we sat down to watch the movie. So, and I had a McDowell's. Everybody got like t-shirts and a McDowell's hoodie
Nice.
Gift bags.
as party swag. So
Nice.
Love it.
way over the top. It was way over the top.
Are you by any chance a fan of House of the Dragon?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now-
Take him off.
But my wife is
Bye.
into all the fantasy stuff, but she's watched all of it. She's read the books. I don't.
Oh, Laverne.
Yeah.
Hey, Laverne. Because I'm thinking about
Where have you been?
when we talk about being extra. It's for me. It's like with Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
Mhm.
You know, I have the cookbook. I've made an entire feast
Wow.
based off recipes from the story.
Mhm.
Like Nick and I do costume nights. It's so I just
I got
wonder.
petticoats on petticoats.
Yes, you have petticoats and gowns.
Mhm.
People that are into it
Tiaras,
love it.
wigs.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Something about like fantasy and like anything that has like a medieval kind
Stop.
of vibe to
Stop. No, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
it. Just saying.
I
Mm-mm.
feel you, Laverne. I want a dragon too.
I
Come on,
also have
Drew.
a cat instead of a dragon.
I have kids instead of a
Those
cat
are-
or a
they're-
dragon.
they're-
They're kind of cat-like though.
They're kind of dragon-like too.
Yeah, one of them climbs on the table and swats things off. That's very cat-like. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I was just asking because if
Oh,
you're that
shit.
extra, I just needed to know what else, I could get you to be extra about. And that
Well,
was the first thing that came to mind.
I'm extra about just about everything, but
But
not
not
in-
fantasy.
yeah, not into fantasy stuff.
That's fair.
Mm.
That's fair.
But we have a room upstairs that's overrunning with fantasy books. I think I told you that. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we need to. I can't believe we haven't met yet. We need to remedy
was-
that.
I was just telling her right before we started. I'm like, man, you gotta meet Tanya because she's a nut.
Me?
You,
Little old me.
you.
If only you knew how funny that was on multiple levels.
Yes, I once was a nut. I once was a nut. Oh, sorry. Hold on. My camera is being weird. Nope, still blurry. It'll sort itself out, I suppose.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's all good. I think that if we should show Coming to America to the kids, like the kids have to get it at some point. If you got kids, make sure
Yeah.
you like, show it to them because it's a great. I think, and not to get too deep into it, but I think it was almost like empowering for Black people to see us in that light for
Mhm.
once.
Mhm.
And not in all the other ways that we have been and kind of in a lot of ways continue to be portrayed in movies and on the big screen.
Mhm.
That was just a fantastic movie, and there was no better person to be the king than
Then
James.
James Earl Jones. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Voice.
But you make such a great point though, because that was one of the things people were saying when Black Panther came out, that
Mhm.
you know, for particularly those of us who, you know, are Black folks who grew up in the United States, like there's a certain narrative that was always put forth about
Mhm.
us, and Coming to America was one of the like few times we saw ourselves in a regal, like we've been you know, we've been told, okay, we come from kings and queens, but this
We was
like
kangs.
right. But this is like one of the first times that like in a big you know, big mass produced way we could see ourselves like that.
Yes.
And so it meant everything. And so like I'm thankful that this generation has this and has, you know, Wakanda, et cetera, but like we had so little. So yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah, you'd have to go out to like other cultures, movies to be able to see that in such a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I that part is fantastic. They need to have a Coming to America Broadway play.
I'm here
I
for
would be
it.
there. I would absolutely be there.
The
I would be there.
costumes, the music, the
The
dance.
music.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I will go there with
Yeah.
a lion cloak.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I will
I would
find a
throw
lion
rose
cloak.
petals at your feet.
I
Yeah.
should have worn mine tonight. It's
Yeah.
I haven't.
Can you go get it? Can you turn off your camera, do an outfit change? Like grace us. We got like 4 minutes left. Let's do it. I'm not even
Trying to
joking.
see that lion pelt.
Because
Yes,
I had
I am.
all of it, which I was pleased, and I bought all of them on Amazon.
Well,
Yeah, because
nice.
there's a King Jaffe Joffer costume on
Mhm.
Amazon.
Yeah, and I bought 2 of them just for good measure.
Of course you did.
Smart.
Extra.
did.
We appreciate it.
Smart.
I do appreciate it. I have
But then the
wigs and crowns.
The crown that it
Mm.
came with, I didn't like, so I went to like Joann's Fabric or something and bought like a whole plastic bag of like plastic jewels.
Mhm.
Mm.
And then I got a hot glue gun, and I was in my kitchen bedazzling the crown to be more.
I love it.
Yep.
I love that level
Yep.
of commitment so much.
Yeah.
Man,
I
it
really
was
do.
crazy. It was crazy. Like,
We should start a Coming to America con.
ooh,
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be dope. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
ooh.
I was just thinking that this movie is the first time that Eddie Murphy did the like multiple character thing that
Mhm.
has become
Mhm.
Oh, is
such a
it?
big part of it. Yeah, it's the very first time that he played multiple characters. And I just think how like now that's such a important part of like not only his personal sort of like journey as an actor and performer, but like there's so many now other folks who like
Right.
try to do that
No,
with
I'm
varying
glad,
degrees of success.
I'm glad you brought that up because he obviously did it later with Nutty Professor, and the
Right.
first Nutty Professor had
Mhm.
me on the floor laughing too.
Right.
Like Crumbs, it was like he played all the characters. Same thing, but it's Eddie. He did it. He obviously took it off of this and rode with it. But yeah, I want to echo that point because I wanted to bring that up. I forgot about it, but then you actually just circled it back. So thank you.
Yeah, that part was epic.
and
Yeah.
and that actually, because again, nerd look stuff up, that the makeup from those multiple characters is one of the like 2 Oscar nominations that the film got. The other
Mhm.
was
Oh, no
for
shit.
costumes.
Yeah, I specifically recently, like a couple months ago, I had watched it, and I just specifically looked up to see if they'd been nominated for best
Mhm.
makeup. I forgot who they lost to, but it was someone that it was something that was like really good. So I was like, I suppose I'll accept it, but I can't
Mhm.
remember what it was.
Back in '88, I don't remember. Rain Man. I don't
1988.
know.
No, not Rain Man. I'm looking at it.
You're like an
I'm
alien.
looking it up.
With Tom
too.
Cruise, probably. Top Gun.
No, not for
Alright.
best makeup.
Maybe like
No,
is it like one of the aliens or something like that, or
I'm looking it up
But-
right now.
ET?
Well, Tanya looks at that and let us know when you figure out get the
Mhm.
answer. But one of the other reasons I love this movie too is just like I was saying, like I guess we all agree, it was like every scene, man. Literally, is like every scene when Semi goes and just he needs to go ask for money. He's like talking to the woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
The telegram, tear driver attorney goes, you think that's enough? And like it's like she's invested. She goes, just ask for $1 million. Like, she's gonna get something.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like if you
You
out
don't-
here being crazy, like
Yeah.
why not go for it?
You don't think that would be too much?
Nah.
I just
So
want to
New
say
York-
that even though they didn't win an Academy Award, they did win a Golden Screen in Germany.
Well, there you go.
Yes, that one's like
Shout out to my
it was
Germans.
just too funny, man.
Yeah.
Like really every scene, even on the train.
And I gotta say, this movie dubbed in German is not as funny as it is in English. I swear to God.
No.
It's still funny, but it's just some things just don't translate.
Right,
Right.
right.
Ah, Beetlejuice. They
Oh,
lost to
okay.
Beetlejuice.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Michael
There was a
Keaton.
lot of great makeup in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did their thing. And
So-
that's another movie that I absolutely love
Mhm.
and watch
We will
all the
absolutely do
time.
it.
On the DVD, I believe that's where I saw it, but Eddie Murphy was saying that when they were in the makeup and he was like the white guy and he just walked around the neighborhood where they were filming and just like talked to people.
And they didn't
And
know. Hmm.
no one knew who he was.
That's so cool.
That's crazy.
But that's, I mean, like, again, that's the genius of Rick Baker. Like, Rick Baker is the same guy who did the Thriller makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, and I mean, like, a lot of those same sort of artists, the people, craftspeople, are like in that John Landis sort of like cohort. Because,
Mhm.
like, Rick Baker did this, he did, Thriller and a bunch of other stuff with John Landis. The costume designer is actually John Landis's wife, but she did Thriller, she did this, she did Trading Places, Black or White, all these other things. And so, like, I appreciate that he had a team that like knew what they were doing and like
100%.
cranked out some good dope stuff. Also, I wanted to mention when I was reading the article about Paula Abdul, it I always just think about how we are so lucky in this, day and age with our YouTube and Twitter and so forth and so on to do research. And she was saying how like she did not have any foundation in that style of dance. And there was no YouTube then, obviously. So she had to go to the library and find like find tapes
Wow.
and just do the research in the library. Which Nikki knows I'm an old school library nerd. I love that.
Mhm.
She committed to it on that level to make sure that it was right and it was authentic and that it made sense
Interesting.
and that it was respectful also.
Right.
Right.
I love that. I love
Right. It does make me wonder what like people in different countries in Africa think about this movie.
that. I was just about to say that
Yeah.
we should have recruited an African, someone from an African nation, as my grandmother would say, to chime in on this movie.
Ask my wife in the comments. Like,
Oh, that's true.
yeah, was
Well,
she?
darn.
Because I don't think she was really a fan, but I think she had seen it before.
Mhm.
Well, it's because they do
Mhm.
that one thing of like, they have Zamunda, but they group Africa as if it's one country.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like they
Right.
always do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're never like called Zamundan. It's just them African boys. But I think that's part of the joke.
Yeah.
Is everyone
Right.
being
Yeah.
like, oh,
Right.
those African
Exactly.
kids
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
have a bit of an insect problem. You boys are from Africa. You're used to that. That is forever gonna
Yeah.
stay with me.
Yeah. I think you're making an absolutely perfect point that in their dialogue, it's actually where they're making fun of
Mhm.
Akeem and Simi, it's actually making fun of,
Their own ignorance.
Their own ignorance. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
somebody
think-
else.
Harley
gosh.
Laverne's con. Yeah, Tanya.
Somebody else, Jake. So much for a serious answer. But the cab driver.
Body by Jake.
Yeah. Somebody else. He passed away like not too many years after the movie came out, though. He's been gone for a long time. So much for that fitness. Mm. And I'm not even drinking.
Now I'm glad you did it. We did not need drug Drew for this. Well, we've been on for about an hour. Any closing comments before we disembark?
Sexual chocolate.
I was gonna drop my mic, and then I
No, I'm
remembered
not
I don't
gonna
want to
drop it.
actually drop it.
Yeah, I'm not about to
I
drop
paid too much
mine.
money for it.
Yeah.
I'll drop my
Drop
mouse. Nobody else? All right, that's it.
Wait,
We'll
I
end on
missed the
sexual-
drop
Oh,
because I snuck off to pee since my camera's off.
you just doing all kinds of stuff.
It's the
She
freedom
has her
of
camera off.
anonymity.
She has her camera off. It's just mayhem over there.
My cat's asleep. I'm doing well.
My cat's asleep too. Thank God.
Hmm.
So yeah, closing comments. We already got Drew's sexual chocolate mic
chocolate.
drop.
This is such a dope sort of like moment to sort of really think about the different sort of impacts this movie has had on all of us and just so many of our generation. Like
Mhm.
it's such a cultural touchstone. I mean, like, I think that's the thing that I really just love about this movie is that it's such there are like you can go to any part of these United States and quote one of those lines of dialogue to any Black person, and 9 out of 10 they're gonna know it, they're gonna laugh. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing to have
Mhm.
something that's so deeply ingrained and beloved in the community and the culture.
Mm.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody who like hates this movie.
I've never met anyone who hates this movie.
And
If-
if
if
It's
they
like you
do,
say it and they
they're a
start
hater.
to giggle.
I'm not gonna be friends with them.
No,
Yeah.
if somebody who hates this movie is just a hater in general.
Yes.
So
Yeah, for
boo,
real.
tomato to that person.
All the
Thumbs
tomatoes.
down.
Really not even tomato, like fish. Throw fish at them. Rotten fish. Mm-mm.
Activator juice at them.
Yes.
Thank you
All
guys,
right.
for doing
I mean,
it.
my thoughts.
Yeah.
This
Need to have
is a
another
great,
Yeah,
great movie.
stay on the line when I end the broadcast. Don't go away.
You know
but-
what, Tanya? Should we do a double feature for next Tuesday? Do you want to do House
What?
Party and Don't Be a Menace?
Sure.
Yeah. Why not? It's Black History Month. It's the last day of Black History Month too. Why
Yeah,
not do two
get it
movies?
in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
all
do
right.
it.
Double feature. You heard it here first.
Short ass month.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. This was really fun. I'm glad we got to just spend time talking about this movie because it's so great. And thank you guys. I love that you're absolutely psychotic when it comes to being fans. I love it. I love it. So thanks again. And thanks for everybody in the comments and stuff. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you've had a good night. And
And Laverne,
we
stay
should-
tuned. We're gonna hit you off some fantasy stuff.
yeah, Laverne, we're gonna connect. We're gonna connect.
Mhm.
All right. Later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
He got his own money.